Hello, it's Jim Hutchins for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report for this week. This past Saturday, the 14th of May, was Israel's Independence Day. It was a celebration of its 68th birthday. It became a nation on May 14th, 1948. And I want to give you some statistics on this. I'll tell you why for your own edification in just a minute. Israel's population today stands at 8,500,000 plus, 8.5 million people. It's estimated there were 200,000 Jews in Israel at the time of its birth in 1948, 200. Today it's 8.5 million inhabitants. The Jewish population makes up some 6,377,000. There are estimated that 1,000,000, over 700,000 are Arabs. That would be 20.8% of Israel's population is Arab. They're there by choice. They could leave anytime they wanted to, but they choose to stay there. 4.4% of the population, or some 374,000, made up of Christians and Baha'i, etc. Last year, 2015, there were nearly 30,000 Jews that immigrated to Israel since last Independence Day, a year ago today, or a year ago this May 14th. Nearly half of the 29,750 new arrivals came from the former Soviet Union, Russia, and the Ukraine. A little over 7,000 French Jews immigrated. And we have been very much involved in helping French Jews and Ukrainian Jews make Aliyah to immigrate back to Israel. Now, why do I tell you all this? Giving you these figures. Because these figures stand as a fulfillment of God's covenant promises to provide a national homeland for the Jewish people. And He's bringing them back. We are witnessing in our day the prophetic fulfillment of His covenant promises. God said this in Genesis chapter 17, verse 7. He says, I will establish my covenant. I will establish my covenant as an everlasting covenant, everlasting, never-ending, eternal. I will establish my everlasting covenant between me and you, namely Abraham, and your descendants after you for generations to come, to be your God and the God of your descendants after you. The whole land of Canaan, where you are now an alien, I will give as an everlasting possession to you and to your descendants, and I will be their God. Now that God promised that in the book of Genesis. He's fulfilling it today as we speak. He has confirmed His covenant. This is spoken of time and time again throughout the Hebrew Scriptures, the Old Testament. For example, it says in Psalm 105, verse 8, He, that is God remembers His covenant forever, the word He commanded for 1,000 generations, the covenant He made with Abraham, the oath He swore to Isaac, He confirmed it to Jacob as a decree, to Israel as an everlasting covenant. To you I will give the land of Canaan as the portion that you will inherit. The promises of God still stand. And whatever you or however you feel toward Israel, and it's a hot button issue, I recognize. It's not politically correct to even talk about it in some evangelical circles even. But however you view Israel, however you view the Palestinians, let the Word of God be the last word on what you believe, what determines you believe. God has promised, God has declared, God has decreed by covenant promise this land to this people. And Jesus said this in Matthew chapter 5. He said, verse 17, Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. Anything in the Old Testament, don't think I've come to abolish either the prophets, the covenants that God has made. Don't think I've come to abolish them. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. I tell you the truth, until heaven and earth disappear. Heaven and earth have not disappeared. Till heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of the pen will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. God will accomplish what he has promised by covenant. And you can go to the bank on that. You can be absolutely sure of that. And let that determine how you feel about Israel, how you feel about the land, and who's in the land. Till next week, Od Ki Yavo Shiloh, until Messiah comes, Yivareka Yahweh. Yahweh bless you, bless those you love, and bless those who love you.